It's like 6 o'clock in the morning, but I wanted to make this video because why not? So if you don't know me, my name is Jay Rhymes. Nice to meet you guys. Just like you are you, I am me, and just like I am me, you are you. Um, so I've been thinking a lot. I've been sitting by myself and contemplating like I normally do, and I got into a point where um, I'm getting used to being alone. I'm getting used to, being in my skin, finding myself. Uh, it's kind of cold. I'm not gonna lie. That's why I'm bundled up. But um, I was really thinking about my life, and I kind of just like was getting so frustrated. Like with this past week, last week, I was just getting so frustrated, and I was just so angry with myself, with my life. Even though my life looks, pretty calm, it's hectic in my mind. You see what I'm saying? So like right now, I'm trying to change that and change my perspective. And changing is hard. It's something that nobody really talks about, and I feel like everybody changes in different ways at different times. So what's difficult for you might not be difficult for me, and what's difficult for me might not be difficult for you. We're all at different stages, but I was really thinking about the order of my life, how structured I actually am, what I want for my life, and do I actually want it as bad as I say I do? Do you actually want it as bad as you say you do? See, we talk about, conforming, we talk about, transforming, we talk about, all these different things, perspectives of change, you know what I mean? And do we actually change, or do we talk about change? And this is what I really wanted to get into, because it's a funny notion. When you think about change, you think you're actually doing something when you're thinking about it, but you're really not. You know, um, to an extent you are, but a lot of people get stuck in this like this this silver lining of like they think about it too much. They don't put enough action. And so that's what I was realizing. Like I was getting frustrated in myself this week, and I was just like so boxed. I was just like so tired, so drained. And then I went to sleep yesterday. I changed my whole living room situation around, my bedroom around, and I just slept the whole day because I work nights. So it's natural for me to sleep all day and then wake up at night. Um, so I basically did that, and I woke up today, and I felt semi refreshed. I still had the same mindset, still had the same perspective, but I actually did something different with my time. Usually I would sit and watch, Netflix, or I would sit and, do whatever else. People have been trying to get a hold of me. I didn't answer. I didn't want any distraction today. And I sat and I structured my life. I structured, different parts that were stressing me out. And what I came to notice is that it's not as difficult as we make it seem. The only thing that's difficult is actually getting the knowledge to understand what we actually need and then to apply it. But to actually do something new and to actually want to do it, it's not that hard. It's the avoidance that we have. We have an avoiding problem. We avoid things because we feel like it's going to be too stressful. We get overwhelmed and we don't do it. But I sat down today and I actually structured out my expenses, structured out where I was going wrong, structured out where I was going wrong in my mindset, structure out where I was going wrong with my finances, structure out where I was going wrong with just my mood and how I was talking to people, and where I was just everything, my lifestyle. Let's just call it my lifestyle. And it's 6 o'clock in the morning right now, and I've been doing this for about, let's say, 3 hours. I don't even watch. I have a watch right here, but um, yeah, for about like 3 4 hours, and it was tedious. It was tedious. I'm not gonna lie. When you're structuring out things that have a problem, you have to go and find a solution, and that's what I learned today too. There's a solution to everything. We just avoid the solution because we get stuck in the cycle of just not caring anymore. We get so frustrated. We're like, fuck it. But in reality, you gotta go find the root of the problem. So I tallied up everything. I calculated whatever I needed to calculate, and I realized I'm in a good situation and a bad situation. The good situation is that I'm providing for myself. The bad situation is that I'm overspending, I'm overdoing things, I'm underdoing things, I am out of whack. And you're probably at the same notion. You're probably like, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to be this, I want to do that. And it's like you're all over the place to the point where you're not doing anything except sabotaging yourself. You have to get back to square one, and this is structure. A lot of people hate structure because we were taught that we don't want people controlling our lives and that we don't want certain things happening. But the thing about it is if you don't have structure, you're going to be all over the place, and nothing's actually going to ever have a solution or a result to it, because you're not going to be able to figure out the problem, because you're going to be going in so many different directions that you can't even focus on the things that you need to focus on. And this is why I say, focus on what you want, who you are, where you want to go, because these things are important. If you don't start doing the work now, you're not going to get to where you are. And that's what I had to realize, even at 15, I knew this, because I realized and I saw the patterns that my mom had, and the toxic cycles that other people had in front of me. And I'm like, this is not the life that I want to live. Like, this is not the life that I want to live at all. And so I was, as a young kid, I always wondered, how can I change the result for myself? And as I gotten older, I've been, granted with more experiences, and to realize that I do actually have control over this. And I feel like our parents felt like they didn't have control over these things, as well as knowledge, because they grew up in a different time frame. So it was, a little bit of both. But that's not no excuse. You know what I mean? If you want it, you're going to go and find it. If you want to find the solution, you're going to go and find it. And I had to get to my breaking point, or a semi breaking point, because I've had different breaking points over the course of my life. Where this one is specific, I just surrendered. I just basically was just like, I'm not going to get frustrated. I'm not going to get angry. I'm just going to see what I can learn. At this point, it's just about knowledge. The more knowledge you have, the more successful you're going to be. And this is what people don't tell you. Yes, education is important, but it's not really about education. It's about how you absorb the knowledge that you're faced with, how you problem solve, how you see the pattern. What patterns do you actually see? What patterns can you actually fix? And see, so I realized, listening to these videos over the course of time, I realized that I was seeing a pattern in myself that was negative. How can I change that pattern into being positive? And these are the things that you have to think about within yourself, because we're not getting any younger, guys. I don't know about you, but we're not getting any younger. So the things that we keep doing, are they actually successful, or are they actually toxic to our lifestyle? And most of the time, they're toxic to our lifestyle, and we just don't want to admit it. We don't want to find the solution, and we don't want to seek the help, because we think, even though we know that things are going bad, we fall into this toxic cycle that the only we can get out of. So you have to change in order to find that solution. But a lot of people don't want to change because it's too scary. But what's scarier to me, I don't know about you, is staying in this bad toxic cycle for the rest of my life. I don't want that. I just can't. I don't want it. I want better for myself. And if I say I want better for myself, I have to think better. I have to do better. I have to seek better. I have to feel better. I have to move better. I have to make wiser decisions. I have to do things that people are not doing. I have to want to try. I have to just think on a whole different playing field. Take all the distraction out. If I need to be by myself for 6 weeks to figure out a solution that's going to better my life for the rest of my life, that's what I will do. And that's the things that you have to think about. You have to think about, do I want to give this up for a period of time to make my life the best it could be? Or do I want to stay in the same situation I am in and keep going down this rabbit hole, knowing that it's not giving me any beneficial result? These are the things that you have to want. And I was around people that didn't want these things for themselves. These conversations, these big conversations, these big, scary, talks within themselves. Because it's not a talk with other people. Yeah, you can talk about these with other people, but implementing it into your own life is a whole different story. And I think you know that. So that's what I did today, and I discovered so much about my behaviors, how I was seeing things, why I was doing this. Also, it gave me goal, it gave me ambition, it gave me motivation, because now I actually know where I'm going. Now I actually have a kind of a setting point of how to make things a little bit better for myself. And these are the things that I really want you to try to do. If you're not at that stage, that's perfectly fine, but just try to, ask yourself these bigger questions, find the result, find the answers, because they're out there. You just have to want to seek them. And it might feel overwhelming. Like, I'm overwhelmed about the information that I just learned. I'm looking at it right now and I'm just like, yo, I can't believe I actually broke that down and dissected it into something that I understand, because I've done this before and I didn't understand anything. But it's also timing. You have to do things not because people are telling you to do them, because you actually want to find the answer. You actually want to find the solution. Because today I wanted to find the solution. I was tired of being just defeated by my own thoughts, defeated by my life, defeated by the choices I was making. And now I actually have a steady goal and plan that I can, you know, um, you know, start going off of. And these are the things that, I've been trying to tell you guys. It's going to be hard. Now, the things that I want to tell you is, don't just go and talk to this about, random people. The reason why I am saying it to you is because you don't really know my plans. Like, yeah, I'm talking to you about the things that, I've learned. But I'm not telling you the direction that I'm going, and I'm not telling you certain things for a reason, because I know where I want to go. I'm not telling you a deadline. I'm not telling you anything. And this is the things that you have to realize. The people that are in your life, when you start elevating and when you start growing, they're not going to want that for you. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. They're not going to want you to succeed. They're not going to want to hear what you have to say, because they're not there in their mind yet. So when you're around people that are not there mentally in their mind, they're going to try to, discourage you in any way possible. And once they discourage you, it's whether you can fight that discouragement, because you already discouraged yourself enough. So why do you need somebody else to tell you, oh, when you can and when you can't do something? Don't tell people your plan. Don't tell people where you're trying to go, where you're trying to be, like anything like that. Just do it. And this is the thing, like, the Nike sign is literally a sign of encouragement, but it's also just like a fuck you sign. Like, just do it. Why the fuck why aren't you doing it yet? And excuse my language, I don't care, because at the end of the day, I realize that we're fighting ourselves, but we're also fighting people that are not at the same path that we are on. We're not at the same path. They're not at the same level as you, in the sense of where they want to go. They don't know where they want to go. And then they're just going to discourage you to not knowing where you want to go, because they're going to confuse you. That's what people do. All they do is confuse you with their words. The words are not actions, though. That's why the Nike says just do it, because they're telling you to put actions. Don't just talk about it. Actually put action and just do it. Do the research, do the hard work, do the things that make you feel pain. People avoid pain, but I think even on the Nike sign it says pain is gain or something like that. Pain is gain. Like, my brain is hurting right now because of knowledge that I'm learning, but I don't care, because I need pain to grow. You need pain to grow. That's why they're growing pains. When you went through growing pains, you realize that you were actually growing. And yes, it hurt. I went through severe growing pains. But I grew. Physically, I grew. We avoid the pain because we don't want to feel it. But the things that now that we're like 5 feet tall, 6 feet tall, we appreciate those growing pains, because we're not short. We could actually see above people. We could actually reach the things we need to reach. We could actually expand our limbs. So this is the reason why I'm telling you this, is because don't fight yourself anymore. I realize I'm fighting myself so hard that I broke myself. I broke free. I broke free in the sense of, fuck it. I'm just going to do it. I'm just try. Like, learning knowledge, okay, whatever. I have a lot of books. I started reading a little bit of it. And I started getting insulted because I'm like, fuck, I'm not doing the work. Instead of getting insulted, realize that you still have the ability to actually do something. Instead of getting frustrated, realize that you still have the ability to do something. Instead of getting worried and stressed out, realize you still have something that you can do. You think that you're not where you want to be. It's because you're choosing not to be there. And I'm sorry, but I even had to realize I'm choosing not to be there. I'm not using my potential. I'm not using my time wisely. I read, I guess in this YouTube video, time is, if you want to be wealthy, time is capital. And I told people this multiple times, and people don't believe me, but it's true. Time is capital. It's the only thing you can't get back, so use your time wisely. People think that it's just a joke until they realize they're 40 years old and still in the same spot, and they never even grew. They never had any growing pains. They were sitting comfortable but miserable at the same time. No, that's not going to be me. I'm going to live my life. I'm going to be free. I'm going to have freedom, and but that's just how it's going to be because I choose that. You have to want it. You have to choose it for yourself. And then you also have to put action behind what you say. It's hard, but you can do it if you actually want it. If you like this video, if you want more encouragement, please let me know. My name is Jay Rhymes. We only serve the Most High on this channel. We only, spread peace, love, and unity. I know I'm a little sporadic right now, but I'm just passionate about what I'm saying because it's true. If you watch to the end, thank you. It only helps you at the end of the day. But go and fight for yourself. Go and actually do something that is beneficial that you don't know. The things that you don't know are probably way more beneficial than you realize because you're actually going towards something that you actually want. Stop going towards the things you already know. The smoking, the drugs, the parties, it's the same thing. It's always going to be there. Go towards something you don't know. Go towards education that you don't know. Go towards, a vibration that you don't know. Not saying it has to be negative, but go towards something that actually is positive, that's actually going to grow your mind, that's actually going to branch you out into different corners of your life. Because doing the same thing has not gotten me anywhere, and I'm actually kind of pissed off because I knew that, but I still fell into it. Most of us do because we're so tired. But being tired is not an excuse to let your life just pass you by. It really isn't. So if you're ready to grow, ready to change, ready to evolve, stick with me. I know I haven't been, that consistent, but that's also something I'm learning. I'm working on it. Not perfect, but I do want people to grow as well as I. So if you're ready to grow, let's grow, One step at a time, buddy. Anyway, peace.